Irashaimase. Hello and welcome to Fitaurus Kitchen. I'm your host, Chef Fitaurus. I'm back to go and talk more about my 2015 PAX trip. We've already gone and discussed what I had the privilege of seeing at the Xbox pre-PAX party, but now let's get cooking with my day number 2, which also happens to go and be day number 1 for PAX. PAX Prime 2015, Friday. So, if you've ever had the opportunity to go to a major convention like PAX or anything like that, you'll know that there's just so much to go and do. There's no conceivable way you can definitely go and fit it into one day, let alone maybe even the entire weekend. You can go and plan as best you can, but especially if you're wanting to go and see panels and make sure you get in line in those and watch the concerts and all that, it's impossible to go and get it all done. So, my game plan for PAX Prime this year was to go and mainly focus on going and checking out indie titles. Since, you know, you can go and get a lot of information and press about the big publisher titles that are going and coming out, but it's not as easy to go and dig up and find information about the littler indie titles. And with an event like PAX Prime, you usually go and have most of, or at least some of the development staff there at PAX going and helping pitch their game to all the attendees. So that is, like, as I've gone and mentioned in my last video, is one of the things that I have the most fun with, going and getting to talk with the developers and see their creation firsthand. Wonderful, wonderful experience. So, going and starting out on Friday, once I got to PAX, we went and hit the floor and went and moved through. We did go and swing by a couple booths and go and pick up some swag pins and whatnot, just making sure that we were able to go and get them beforehand. So that's the Mega Man set of collections that I went and got from ThinkGeek. Great looking set of pins, and it was a pretty reasonable price. And I also went and picked up Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time Penny Arcade pin, as it looks super cute, and I just really looking forward to that title. We also happened to go and grab their information postcard. That one actually goes and comes out this week, I believe. So if you're interested in going and checking out Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time, it'll be available this week for you on Steam and Xbox One, I believe. But after going and hitting up a little bit of merch, we ended up going and moving on to the Indie Mega Booth, which is the section of PAX on the main 4th floor expo hall where they go and set aside for the indie developers. It's a fairly large section, but it feels like it's going and getting more and more crammed each and every year. I'm not sure if that's necessarily the case or if that's my impression of it, but that being said, that's where I've definitely gone and had some of my greatest PAX experiences, and a lot of fun with PAX is at the Indie Mega Booth. It's a great place to go and go through, see new and interesting and innovative titles that you might not have heard about that are going and coming out. Some might have even already released. There were some that have recently released, like Galaxy, and others might go and be in the far-flung future. Who knows how far out there. The first one that I actually stopped to go and take the time to go and play, I do have a little bit of footage of, so I'll go ahead and show that, was Wadum. So, Wadum is the creation of Funomena. I'm not 100% sure how to say the studio's name, but Funomena Games and Keita Takahashi. So if you're not familiar with Keita Takahashi, he's the man behind the Katamari franchise as well as Nobi Nobi Boy. He had gone and left game development for a while, but he apparently had more he wanted to go and do with game development, so he's back. And his new title that he's going working on is Wadum, which is a really unique, interesting, almost kind of Zen-like experience. Super cute art style. If you've gone and played Nobi Nobi Boy, it's kind of along those same lines, but some aspects of Katamari and well, Nobi Nobi Boy. You're kind of, you start out as the mayor on a world that has gone and been blown apart with people of the world flung into the far reaches of space, and you're trying to go and build back the world and go and build up this community. And you go and do it through a really interesting system where you go and gather together people. You're either like build totems or like chains of people going and holding hands. Then once you've gone and reached a certain threshold for the particular stage, you go and detonate a bomb that the mayor goes and has. Everybody goes and cutely flies into space. It goes and brings another segment of the world back. Really bizarre, unique gameplay, but super cute. And if you've gone and played titles like Katamari or Nobi Nobi Boy, it's definitely along those lines. If you like that stuff, definitely give Wadham a look when it goes and comes out. As far as release information, I still have no idea how far out that one's going to go and be, so, but definitely it's one that's on my radar, and so, well, you'll probably go and hear more about it going into the future as well. So moving on to another title that I went and checked out at the Indie Mega Booth, I went and played through the PAX Prime demo of Valhalla, which, I got this coaster here. Valhalla is a cyberpunk bartending visual novel dating sim kind of title, so it's a really unique mashup of genres where you go and have essentially a visual novel that also goes and has a bartending element where you're going and trying to pick a drink based off of what the customers are going and telling you they want, and then going and successfully mixing it or not. And it's got a great art style, great soundtrack, and also really interesting, the mechanics. So it's not your straight up visual novel where you're just going and making choices. Choices are dictated by the kind of drinks that you go and mix for the guests that you happen to go and be serving. The demo at PAX Prime when featured Streaming Chun, who is kind of a take on a Nico Nico Doga live streamer. She had all the comments going and zooming past, and she had a webcam on her head. It was a super interesting way to go and experience the title. Valhalla is available for pre-order / buying the prologue at this point. If you go to their site, I'll go ahead and link that below so you can go and check that out if you're interested. But definitely also expect more coverage from me on this one, as it's one that I've been interested in for a while, and truth be told, I actually feel kind of bad that I haven't picked up the prologue to this point. But I had a super fun time going and playing the demo, and I'm looking forward to going and seeing how that title goes and develops. Then moving on, I actually went, this is a game that I went and saw up on the 6th floor expo hall, since there's the two main ones at PAX, and that's Symphony World. I didn't actually get the chance to go and play this one. We were going and moving through too fast, but I did go and enjoy what I went and saw, and it was super interesting. I'm a big fan of rhythm games and shoot 'em ups, and this one kind of goes and takes those two genres and goes and combines them together. They're also going and giving out like really cute hand sanitizer, which if you've ever been to a big convention, you know how important this stuff is. And but anyway, the whole idea with Symphony World is that you go and select two music tracks, like the one that represents your side and the one that goes and represents the enemy side. So I can't remember what track Hyoen had selected at the time for the good side, but the evil side that in the demo that they were going and playing was a Justin Bieber track, because Justin Bieber music evil. So you're going in around with this world that's going and being developed and terraformed by the music that you're going and playing, and the opposing music as well. It was a really neat going and seeing how the world was just going and transforming as you were going and playing, and then there'd be all these enemy nodes that would go and be developing, and the enemy song would also be trying to go and overtake the world, and you're trying to get a certain percentage of the world to covered in your song. So you've got shoot 'em up aspects, you've got real-time strategy where you're going and putting down objects, trying to go and defeat enemy units, enemy bases, and that sort of thing, and going and building up the world. And then the whole rhythm game where the music goes and kind of shapes the experience. It's a super interesting looking title, and I really want to go and get my hands on it at some point. So as more information goes and becomes available about that one, I'll definitely go and pass that along as well. So that was Symphony World. Another one that I also got to go and play up on the 6th floor expo hall was Commander Kamala, which is another shoot 'em up, although this one's a little bit different in the way that it goes into controlled. It was one where you were kind of going and drifting around in the direction you go and point with your ship, and then you go and zoom. But anyway, it's kind of a story-based one where you're going and playing this crew of, well, this commander Kamala and this crew of ragtag, well, like a space police. So you're going forth and laying down the law in these fringe parts of the galaxy, going and defeating enemies and helping out the companies and whatnot. It was a fun title to go and play, and the mechanics were simple but enjoyable. One thing that I was doing terrible at is, as you go and defeat enemies, you have to go and capture their escape pods, otherwise they'll go and get away if they happen to go and get to a planet, and I was letting way too many escape. But that's, let's see, not anything too big to go and worry about. I did have a fun time going and playing that one. It was one that I just kind of spotted out of, let's see, the corner of my eye, and since they had a demo station open, I went and tried it. And I had a lot of fun with it. So, you know, that's always one thing that you can go and say. It's like you're just kind of floating around serendipitously. Here's the postcard that I went and got from that one. It was definitely a fun title to go and get to experience, and once again, it's one that I'm going and looking forward to going and seeing more on. Apparently, they'll be going and launching a Kickstarter here before too long, so if you're interested in following that one, I'll also go and include a link to their main site below. Back to the indie mega booth, another title that we went and got to go and check out after we'd gone and taken some time to go and rest, get some lunch, that sort of thing, was Shoot Mega Party. Yeah, no, sorry, not Mega Party. Shoot Mega Pack. Shoot Mega Pack is a really interesting shoot-'em-up take on a party game. So you're going and playing around as a small, like asteroids-like triangle, and you're going and playing through this set of different rule, basically mini games. So you're playing through the set of mini games that go and have different rules, and as you're going and progressing, you'll have like one where each time you go and shoot as an example, the ones that were there, you'll have one where each time you go and shoot, the stage goes and gets smaller and smaller, and just kind of you're playing to last man standing in all these mini games. So you're trying to go and be really cautious with your shots, because if you go and crash into the wall, you go and die, and if you get hit by somebody else's shot, you go and die. But each time somebody takes a shot, the stage keeps on getting smaller and smaller, so your space to go and move around in gets smaller and smaller. Then there's also was a mode where you're tethered together, and each time somebody goes and boosts, everybody boosts. Each time one person shoots, everybody goes and shoots. So it's a really interesting game of chicken that way. And then they had a couple other really fun ones. One where there was each shot, it didn't actually detonate or destroy the enemy initially. It went open kind of like a black hole that people could go and fall into, and that was how you went defeated enemies in that stage. I can't quite remember what the last set was on, or the last minigame set was on that one. But that's one that I'm definitely looking forward to going and playing. When it goes and comes out, I'll definitely gather together 4 people and we'll go and play it, and you can get to see how that one goes. The last game that I went and played that day of PAX was Rock Band 4. I'm a huge Rock Band fan. I've been going and picking up the mainline series as well as several additional tracks since the title went and came out all the way back in, oh geez, what is it now, 2007, 2008, somewhere around there. And I was so super thrilled and stoked when they announced that Rock Band 4 was going to making a return. It was really fun to go and get to go up on stage and go and play the new build of the game. For the most part, it was very similar to previous Rock Band experiences. I even played a song that was DLC for the original, Message in a Bottle by the Police. Great song, at least that's my opinion. I know, let's see, some people might have different opinions on that one. But one of the things that was unique about it is they're going and changing up the way that guitar solos, I'm not sure if it's the other instrument solos are the same or not, but they're changing the way that guitar solos go and work, at least as an option. So you have the option apparently to go and switch on a freestyle guitar solo where you have instead of the guitar solos going and having a set pattern of notes, you go and have like guidelines, but you can go and play whatever the heck you want within the guidelines for the note patterns that are going by on the screen. So you might have ones where you're like supposed to be hitting the high frets, the low frets, going in like doing sustained notes, or going and mashing the rhythm bar really, really fast. It just depended on the way that the solo was going and transforming. But it sounds like you'll still be able to go and turn on the old style solo, so if that's more your pace, there'll be that as well. One thing that I do think the freestyle guitar solos will go and make is it'll make the titles more accessible to more people. Is if you've ever gone and played a rock band, especially hard songs on harder difficulties, the guitar solos can be some of the hardest parts to go and get past, so maybe it'll just make that easier and more accessible for more people. But it was super fun to just go and be up there on a stage and just going and rocking away to a rock band. And the fact that that series is going and coming back just makes me so happy, so thrilled. Music gaming is definitely alive and well. Rhythm gaming, all that, love it. So that's basically my day one at PAX Prime. There were other things that we ultimately ended up going and doing throughout the course of the day, but they mainly involved going into like panels. I did go and sit in on the Peanut Butter Gamer panel, which if you're a fan of Peanut Butter Gamer, was super interesting to go and be there. It was mainly just a Q&A, and it's available on Twitch. I'm assuming YouTube as well. So if you want to, you should be able to go and look that up. And then there was also all the free play rooms that are available. So if you just want to go and take some downtime at PAX, there's free play console rooms, free play classic console rooms, and also a free play arcade that usually goes and has older retro arcade cabinets as well. And that's a great way to go and spend your time. Just go and kick back and relax in those free play rooms. It's a super enjoyable experience, especially if you go and love gaming. Being able to go and choose from like a list of all these classic titles on all these different consoles, or like newer release titles on the current generations of consoles, is great. So once again, as I've gone and said before, if you get the chance to go to a PAX, I really recommend it. It's a wonderful time, although it can go and be a little bit exhausting and crazy to go and kind of deal with the crowds. But if you can go and handle that, give it a shot. I definitely think you won't regret it if you go and get that opportunity. Alright, that's my wrap up for PAX Day 1. I'll go ahead and get my other day of PAX wrapped up and thrown up here in the next day or so. And I want to go and thank you so much for going and watching my video, and we'll see you again next time.